Alright, I have another crazy idea. I have a daily quest to complete 3 missions as a constructor. So, what I realized is I've never had a ton of fun with Boom Base on this channel, and it's one of my favorite team perks. And 8-Bit Demo is a constructor, and Boom Base buffs your crit rating and damage for any weapon you're using. That is melee or ranged. So I'm seriously, Walry, it's true. So I'm going to be running a rocket launcher and this build: battle beat and maximum overload just to get Boom Base active. Battle beat will be really useful. Coconuts to give me more damage, keep me alive. Faster explosions for 17%, and bomb suit because I couldn't think of anything else. We're gonna be running this 160, just a lightning mission. So what I'm thinking is, typically I would do the V6 launcher, but I have a newly supercharged cannonade, so we're gonna switch this thing to fire and give it a whirl. Alright, so I wanted to mention before we get into it, there is a loadout that's probably better if you're going to be spamming rocket launchers, and I do have a video on it here. You guys can check it out, link down below. And that takes advantage of Star Spangled Headhunter, who reduces the amount of ammo you consume based on her war cry. That is significantly better than 8-Bit Demo in the lead, especially considering you can't use her in support like you can use him in support with that lead. But Archer decided to run her anyway, so if you want to pop it, we can kind of demonstrate what happens. That's almost the same ability, but not quite, Archer. Actually, it's the war cry that thank you. So basically, I'm gonna be able to shoot forever. This is 8-Bit in the lead and Star Spangled in support. I've only used 5 rockets. An absolutely ridiculous combination. So when he's popping the war cry, when the defense begins, we're gonna be able to shoot for a huge amount of time. So I can't wait to see that. All right, Archer and I found an encampment. He's gonna pop the war cry, and we're gonna be off to the races here. So let me just get it active and eat a coconut, I guess. Let's see how long we can shoot. Oh my god, this is awesome. My whole screen is shaking. Oh my, I thought that'd last longer than it did.
I popped it like too early.
Still, what a phenomenal, oh, it's so much damage. This is one of my favorite builds to run, and I'm not even utilizing the Boom Base yet. This is just how strong the build is normally. Once we get the Boom Base active on top of that, that'll buff everybody in the party too.
Here, you want to show off destroying an entire building?
Oh, we'll get there, I suppose. I mean, you know, it's time for it.
Ready.
You want to use the war cry again? Okay, hold on, let me eat a coconut. All right, go for it. Basically just using no ammo at all. Why are some of these walls invincible? That's a new glitch I've been seeing. The whole screen is shaking. I hope this isn't making anybody uncomfortable. It's making me uncomfortable. For those of you who don't know, actually, I use a cannonade quite often, even when I'm not using it as a weapon, because it is one of the best pickaxes in the game. Unless, of course, the buildings are just invincible for some reason. I don't know what's going on. But I use them specifically just to clear out terrain. You know, they one-tap pretty much everything in the game, and it's a lot quicker than pickaxing. So if you use it, you can use the tracks for deliver the bomb a lot easier, and it just makes kind of placing everything easier. Beautiful. All right, the mission begins. Let me go put down my Boom Base real quick while the enemies move into place. I'm gonna go kind of here. Why not? And let's have some fun. So, even without the war cry, look how much damage. What's the crit chance on this thing? 45.5. So almost every shot. More like half. I'm critting. Remember the nailer video? That smasher's gone. Beautiful. Can I have the kills here, Archer? I wanna see what we can do.
One every once in a while for base solo.
Base solo? Oh yeah, just extending the war cry. Alright, let me get a coconut for some more damage and light up a couple smashers. 3 smashers. This is amazing. Going from the candy corn LMG and the nailer, where I can't... Oh, somebody's xenon bowing. God damn it. I don't actually know how much damage I'm doing. Shit. Well, to go from 2 weapons that can't even kill a smasher to 1 weapon that can handle 3 is a real treat. I was on 1 bullet, 1 rocket for so long, ready to reload, but your war cry just wouldn't let it consume. Oh, it's so satisfying. Are there any big targets back here? There are. All right, here we go. Nature Smasher. With Healing Death Burst. Reloading more often than I would have expected, but 8-bit can only do so much. They really buffed him. He used to only save ammo, like, you get free 2 durability, I think, if like an ability was cast. It was really quite strange. Or after the base? I don't really know, but now he's a lot more useful. Well, I say now as though this was a recent change, but, you know, it's not super well documented. Look at that. Soloing a Smasher. It's beautiful. I love it. I can just delete a house if I wanted to. Now this does take up a lot of rockets. This is certainly for funsies, but it's still satisfying to see. Still so satisfying. Oh yeah, it's fun. I mean, this is one of those missions where, yeah, I can't recommend this as an everyday build, but certainly if you can afford a few rockets, this is worth trying out. Ah, Death Pity despawned. And it's got fairly decent accuracy for what it is. So you can snipe a lobber if she's kind of hanging back, being annoying. What is so funny, Iwari?
I froze the Smasher from afar and it went high up for some reason.
I used to run triple damage on this thing, but that was way back when you couldn't actually have as much durability as you could nowadays. So now that you can kind of afford rocket ammo a little bit better and these weapons have higher durability, it's a little bit more worth it to run crit because you can run that risk a bit more. I'm ready for the next mission if you want to just start the next wave. I might have to craft another one. I'm burning through ammo. People were wondering why I supercharged this, and well, hopefully this video will make things a little clearer.
I think it is.
People are like, cannonade, is that weapon even good? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, it is. They actually, I think it was always good. A lot of people sort of wrote it off, and it's just a lot better than people thought. And it's fully automatic, which is easy to forget. Are you running Zenith?
Yes? Why?
That would explain all the frozen smashers.
Right.
Do you want
Oh, did you pop a war
change?
cry?
Yeah.
I ran out of my thing. Alright, we're good. The V6 launcher also works amazingly for this. That's why I've supercharged
Mini
both of them.
boss is nature.
Yes! Where?
Right here. Is
I'm shooting smashers.
right next to me.
My war cry's up in 20 seconds.
Alright, let me know before you pop it. Ah, you're standing in front of me.
10 seconds.
Alright, he's definitely gonna be alive. Not even a tank.
I teleporting.
Ah, he teleported. Alright, he's right next to us. You ready?
Yeah, go.
Oh my gosh. So of course the Warcry saves the ammo, but obviously it buffs the fire rate and damage of these weapons. So it is amazing. Amazing. Mini boss is dead. Just like that. I never even reloaded. Not for that phase. And then of course the Affliction, which is easy to kind of forget about. A lot of times, if you guys in the footage have seen me tagging an enemy and running away, that's why. Because the Affliction just sort of chunks. It's not a ton of damage on this weapon for some reason. I'd like to calculate a bit because some weapons seem to be affected by Affliction differently. I'm not really certain how that's decided. I've never heard anybody talk about it, so maybe the community knows something I don't, but it seems some weapons have a much higher Affliction damage or crit chance. I don't know. I don't know. It's not something that's well documented because initially the Affliction buff was, I think, a bug because they reverted it and then they put it back. So if this was always unintended behavior, I mean, they never announced it or anything. Oh, tweak to Affliction. Like, they just don't put these things in home base reports. They just quietly added it back. Vacuum tube bow. People thought it was fixed for a lot longer than it was because they just quietly reverted the change. So now people are like, wait, is the vacuum tube bow supposed to be like this or not? You know, is it supposed to chain with Farah like it did before? And believe it or not, that change wasn't even for the vacuum tube bow. It's for Bow's abilities and their interaction with Farah altogether. It's just the vacuum tube bow gets the most bang for their buck out of it. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes it feels like Epic doesn't even want us to be happy. It's like they add something good and then they just don't even tell us.
The cloud burst is a unique situation because if you get a cloud with Farah like in like a choke point, you could just shoot out infinite Farah bolts.
Yeah, it's tricky to utilize that, but certainly nice to have. Well, that was the cannonade and a little bit of boom base. I know I spent most of the loadout kind of running away from my boom base, but you could see it, especially with the mini boss. It was boom base, Warcry, this build, it is awesome. It's not the best this weapon can be, but it's definitely a fun time. And then